We are back with that
Oh,
season
shit.
3 premiere. I'm gonna go ahead and start it off to get go. I won the locked in challenge last year. We were tied
Oh,
heading into the Super Bowl, and the Rams won.
they
Yeah, we
did.
hadn't had a chance to talk about it, but we're gonna
They
talk about
did. Ah, ah,
it. We
ah.
got your quarterback carousel. We got your other notable NFC, AFC, all of it, all of the moves, because there's been a lot, and it's been a ridiculous offseason. We're going to talk about it. We're going to preview our draft special for next week. Hit that subscribe button. It's nickel and dime.
And we are back.
Yeah, look at that.
And we are back. How you doing, Drew?
I'm good, man. It was a nice break. Like the NFL season was crazy. The
Yeah.
playoffs were even crazier. And now this offseason is not disappointing whatsoever.
You said it. I couldn't put it better myself that the season was crazy. Obviously, still a little salty about the loss, but we are moving past it.
I feel like
we're,
you got good things coming. Okay,
we're on to bigger and better things. I just, it's a touchy subject. I digress. Drew mentioned it that the season was crazy, but the off season was basically like hold my beer.
What?
We didn't know what we were getting into when the season ended at all.
If we only thought Alvin Kamara getting arrested at the Pro Bowl was just going to be, we didn't even know it was just going to be the starting point of this
Drew,
madness.
You and we were just talking about this in the pre-production, but there's been so much stuff happening this offseason that I have forgotten stuff. And Alvin Kamara getting arrested in Vegas was one of those things that I forgot until just now.
Because stuff has just piled on top of it, man.
Yes.
I do want to start the show off, though, with our thoughts from the Nickel and Dime podcast going out to the Haskins family. RIP to Dwayne Haskins. What a terrible tragedy to come out.
Yeah.
I was hanging on every word the top NFL insiders were saying entire offseason, but just to get that terrible news, they got hit by a car and died was just not what I expected to pick up on. I think it was like a Sunday or something like that.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy how it came across the wire, even crazier that it actually happened. I can't think it still feels kind of surreal.
Yeah.
And it just, everybody loves a comeback story. And I think, a lot of people were really looking for him to solidify his draft status. I mean, he had a lot of potential, and just gone too soon, just gone too soon.
Yeah, way too young. I mean, the older we get, the younger kids are dying. I'm like, he was only 24? What?
Yeah. Your own mortality comes into question when stuff like that happens, man. We're getting old.
Insane. We are. Well, let's go ahead and kick it off. This whole episode is going to be a big old housekeeping note because we got nothing but catching up to do. But
it's the off season, baby.
Hey, let's touch on that quarterback carousel first. First and foremost, your boy stayed retired for 3 days.
Yeah, F them kids.
My man saw his dad's schedule and was like, nah.
Giselle was she was super ready for that man to be in retirement. And
what did he say? 40 days?
40 days? Like 40 days. Yeah. And he decided to come back, but the Bucks are much better for it. The offseason just took a complete turn. Like we were going to be, for lack of a better term, somewhat in a rebuild mode. We were looking for a free agent quarterback to come in, kind of right the ship, so to speak, no pun intended. But Brady just decided he wanted to unretire.
Never mind.
And just right. And just a quick speculation before we move on to the other quarterback carousel, but it's like
we got so much to talk
about. Right, exactly. But you heard the rumors about Brady and the Dolphins and all the stuff that's going on. There might be
that came out of nowhere.
Fire. It did.
You know what I mean? Like,
and some people still think there might be smoke where there's fire, Drew. But I tell you this: Bruce Arians said it at the combine that 5 first-round picks. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want Tom Brady, it's going to cost you because this man is at the top of his game. So Tom Brady wasn't going anywhere. I don't care what you say. You know what I mean?
Yes. It's someone who looked like they definitely were going somewhere, but decided to stay home. Aaron Rodgers back in Green Bay.
Without Devontae Adams, though, Drew, what is he gonna look like?
And Valdez Scantling.
And MVS gone. Drew, is this the first year, or excuse me, not the first year, not since Javon, the receiver that they took, and it was Javon Walker. It was Walker. That was the last first round wide receiver that they took.
God.
Exactly. Drew, is this the year that the Packers finally pigeonhole themselves into taking a wide receiver in the first round?
They have to. Because I don't think the offseason acquiring Sammy Watkins is going to be enough.
Yeah. Sammy,
you let your top two arguably guys walk.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what did they get for Devontae Adams?
They didn't get anything. They got his smell. He left his scent in his locker. That was about it. You know?
Yeah.
And Devontae moving on, of course, like, you know, that there's the connection with him and Derek Carr, Drew, but like, you gotta, there's something not sitting with it, like sitting right with me about it. You know what I mean? Like,
Aaron Rodgers was way too okay with him leaving.
Yeah. And he left in the first place is what I'm getting at. Like, you know what
right, but I'm just saying, like there wasn't like a, why is he leaving? It was a, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you're right.
Because all the reports coming out is Rodgers knew it was going to be without Adams when he signed his highest paid quarterback in the league contract.
Yeah.
So is it just one of those where they both looked at each other and be like, let's both just go get ours? It is what it is.
Yeah, I think and they're also both consummate pros. So maybe that is what it was. But I mean, Aaron signed first. Am I correct? Like, Aaron signed his deal first before. Yeah. So at that point, he has to be looking at Devontae like, look, bro, it ain't nothing here for you anymore. You know, like, I want this money.
This is the first year that I've truly, and I'm sure it's been a constant battle, you know, like, you have no idea what's going on in GM rooms and behind closed doors, but this is the first year, because we joked about it so much last year that the cap wasn't real. You know, that they'd find ways around it.
Yeah.
But more and more now, I'm starting to notice you can't have a top paid wide receiver and a top paid quarterback on the team. You just can't. So now all these teams are toying around with the idea of, well, I got a good quarterback on a rookie deal. Let me pay this wide receiver. And then vice versa is, I got one of the highest paid quarterbacks. Let me go get a rookie wide receiver and hope it's a Chase situation.
Yeah. And then
both, like the Bengals, where you're both on rookie deals.
I mean, and that's the thing, is like, that's why the draft matters so much. And we are right in the time to talk about it. We'll talk about it here in a bit, Drew. But the third scenario is like, and of course I'm taking it with the home cooking here, but like, you scrap all that because you search for quarterback for years and years and years and years and you don't find them, but you build the team through the draft, and then quarterbacks will want to come to you.
That one last piece.
Right. And so, but you're right. I feel like it's a two for these days. Like, you have to kind of push money down the road and be in a shitty cap situation 3, 4, 5 years from now. But the salary cap, to your point, is really made this a level playing field. Like, you have to supplement. You got to be on your game at all the time, you know?
Yes. Because, talk about that guy going to the missing piece. We finally get to see if that was real in Denver, because they got their guy in Russell Wilson, now a Denver Broncos quarterback. Yeah. Josh Johnson got signed a deal to be his backup. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, still in the league, Josh Johnson.
Still, and not having to play for Washington.
No. Oh my God, he has been on so many teams.
Yes,
it's crazy. But I'm very excited about Russell Wilson going to Denver, especially if the receivers can come back healthy. You get a little bit more consistency out of Jerry Jeudy, and the defense,
lost a couple pieces though.
They did.
Defense lost a couple pieces.
But I think they look like a team that I believe that they made the right moves in the pieces that they lost, that they can maybe supplement and still get, take a little bit of a drop off. But now they're in the playoff picture, or they're gonna have to be in that damn division, though. You know what I mean? Like, or
Oh
else
my God.
it's gonna be
Every
looked at
week's
as a huge
playoffs.
failure.
Every week 1 is the start of the playoffs for the AFC West.
Whoever, if somebody out of that division makes it to the Super Bowl, Drew, they will have played 6 playoff games before they get to the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll be tested.
Yeah, because I mean the Raiders are getting better. God, I just can't that I can't wait till we and just foreshadowing starting in the first week of July.
Right.
We'll be back with our division and team recaps and season previews and whatnot. So I can't wait. We might jump into the AFC West first just because.
Yeah, we might have to, because it's on everybody's brains, man. It really is. It really is.
Keeping on with this quarterback carousel, Cousins running it back in Minnesota. Is that just they don't know where to go next, or like they think they can actually win with Cousins? Like what is Minnesota's mindset with re-signing Kirk Cousins?
I think they know what they are. I have to think that they know what they are. Zimmer's no longer there. Is that correct? Like, right. Zimmer's out. They got a new GM. Listen, I have to think that, it as crazy as it sounds, Drew, I think that they're spinning the wheels because they know what it is with Kirk Cousins. They're going to be mediocre to bad these next couple of years and put themselves in a position to get towards the top of the draft and maybe reset it there. Because, like, if I'm any type of free agent, that's not a destination I want to go to. You know what I mean? Like, you've seen the Kirk Cousins experience for the past 4 years. You know it's not going to get any better than what it is. And they're just spinning their wheels, man. They're spinning their wheels. I got to think that it's losing, winning by losing right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they did bring in Kevin O'Connell to be their next coach.
Yeah.
The coordinator from the Rams. So
we'll see. Everybody is suckling off the damn Sean McVay teat right now. I swear, like, that man he just getting everybody jobs.
Yeah. So he was the offensive coordinator last year for the Rams. So that's where maybe they think he can come in with some innovation for Cousins and the boys.
Yeah.
Just hand the ball to Cook and get out of the way.
Yeah. I mean, if Cook can stay healthy for 17 games,
yeah,
you still got to factor that in.
He won't. I mean? It's okay. Trubisky up in Pittsburgh now. Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah.
And then the Bills get Matt Barkley and Case Keenum to fight for their backup role for Josh Allen. So
Josh Allen better stay healthy
with quarterbacks.
Yeah, right? Josh Allen better stay healthy.
I feel better with Case Keenum than Matt Barkley.
I mean, I do, but like they had Case Keenum really not taking over for Baker Mayfield. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
he managed the game. Okay.
Right. You know what I mean? So like I don't really know that that's where it's at. I mean, of course he would love the chance to prove that. So, go Case, but I don't know. I mean, in Pittsburgh, again, it sucks for Dwayne Haskins. He was really going to have a shot because it is not Mason Rudolph. We know it's not that.
I don't know why he's still on the team, to be honest with you. I think they're going to draft a quarterback, and I think they're going to run with Trubisky for a year or two while they get the quarterback ready. Unless, best case scenario for them, Trubisky learned a lot in Buffalo, and he takes off. And, then they got then they can Jordan Love can just sit on behind Aaron Rodgers,
I really like kind of speaking to what you were saying, Drew, like here lately, I've been getting the feeling that we are due for a quarterback that we've seen a lot of to have a Kurt Warner type into their career. You know what I mean? Like just like Trubisky could be that guy. Like exactly. Like he's been in the league a while, and for all these they've been in the league for a while. If they
fix that O line,
if the potion is right, it's got to be a lot of stuff. But if the potion is right, they might could get to a playoff Super Bowl.
He's got to be more mobile than Big Ben though, so that's a plus on there. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
my man could not move.
And Tomlin is just something about that Steelers organization.
He's going to figure it out. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they got head coach caliber guy in Flores, in a small
Damn, that's right. He is on there. See,
coaching staff. That coaching staff is ridiculous.
That's true. And the defense is still there. So
I think Flores is what, like their secondary coach now? Like, come on.
Yeah, or like in the
one of the best secondaries in the league. Like, get out of
here. Right. It's crazy, but like last year, and we talked about it, but like Pittsburgh was going to Pittsburgh. We thought they were out of it, and then they was right there almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so.
Well, finally the drama comes to an end. Desean Watson signs in Cleveland for a whole lot of guaranteed money.
$230 million.
Guaranteed. Like no matter what happens, they have to pay that man $230. That man could never play again, and they have to pay him $230 million. Yep. And then they bring in Jacoby Brissett as his backup because
Bobby Bonilla
Baker wants out. Right, Bobby Bonilla Day. We celebrate Bobby Bonilla Day in this house because we think it's the funniest thing in the world.
It is. Shout out to his agent talking about getting a platinum plaque.
He throws a barbecue every year. When that check comes in, he's like,
"Yep, let me take 600 out of this check and go get the meat." You know what I mean? Yeah. Like fire up the grill. But it's kind of crazy though, Drew, man. But like, it was kind of hot and heavy how it all came about, and then like he signed, and I'm not blaming Baker one bit. He should have won out. He's kind of in a rock and a hard place though, because Baker's kind of a scapegoat right now, is he not? Like people don't really seem to like him.
But he's not doing himself any favors by going on these podcasts and talking trash. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I saw it best, and it was Tim Hasselbeck, I think, that was talking about it. But he said, stop talking about it, man. Stop talking about feeling disrespected. Go do your workouts, and then whatever team picks you up next, make sure you're the best possible version of yourself. He's like, no one cares about a podcast quarterback. They care about Baker Mayfield. Can he still win?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to hype him up because God knows he might be Carolina's next quarterback. That's what we're hearing. Like, I might have to go from Sam Darnold to Baker Mayfield and hope for the best.
Well, and I am a Baker Mayfield fan. Like, I like him, but like you're exactly right. He's not doing himself any favors, especially by going on a podcast, because you can just clip podcasts to make them seem like whatever narrative you want. You know what I mean? Yes. Like, so he definitely didn't do himself any favors. Or at least if you're going to do that, don't go to, I don't even know the podcast he went on. You know what I'm saying? Like, go to one of the reputable podcasts. Yeah. Right. So
like nickel and dime next time, Baker. Come on, hang out.
Come on, bro. I mean, it's all we give.
We'll make sure your story gets out there. You know,
all we giving you is real. But
we're not gonna cut anything. Whatever you say, you say.
Nah. It is what it is, man. Come on here. Come on here. Nah, but like I want to see him do well, and if he does come to Carolina, I think that makes y'all a bigger threat than y'all are now, as far as on paper. You know what I mean?
If we do, and we get to keep our first round pick, and we get him a guard, and then go out and get another guard, maybe a tackle, maybe.
And if you do
bring, we got the weapons, we got the skill players. Because I can't wait to talk about some more notable offseason moves, because we signed one of my favorite backup running backs in the league. So I'm pumped.
That did happen. I did not. That was one I was like, damn, y'all.
Yeah.
But
it just makes more sense for Christian McCaffrey to go to the slot.
Still beating that drum, huh?
Because he's going to get hurt in week 3 if he doesn't.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully Foreman will take the load off of him. But no, if Baker goes there, it doesn't pigeonhole Carolina into taking a quarterback at 6.
Which we're reaching. We're reaching so hard if we go get a quarterback at 6, and I don't want to see it.
I don't know if Baker don't go to town, man.
I know we have
it could be likely. It could be likely,
Yeah.
Yeah. You're hearing his voice now.
Well, another Carolina quarterback that didn't work out, Teddy Bridgewater, is now in sunny Miami, backing up Tua.
Good for Teddy. Miami's really throwing out all stops here, Drew. They are really doing a lot of things. It was probably them just to kind of keep their ball rolling. That put those Tom Brady rumors out there. They had enough. They just needed some more. They needed to deflect from the Brian Flores situation. That's what it is. They just, if you throw a whole bunch of stuff out there, people will forget it. You know what I'm saying?
They will,
like,
because talk about some else stuff that people have forgotten about that already. Some more notable coaches are joining the case, but still, that happened so long ago.
You're right. As far in this day and age, literally 2 minutes equals 20 years. Like, it's 20 years old, man. Yeah, it's crazy. But then we probably, and the thing about court cases and litigation is we won't actually know. It'll be 2029 and it'll be like Brian Flores
settles for a record amount of money,
right, as a blurb on Pro Football Talk, whatever it is at that point.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yep.
Oh man, Carr back in Vegas, like we said, with his buddy Devontae. They signed Garrett Gilbert, and our boy Nick Mullins, has also signed on to compete for his backup in Vegas.
Wow, Derek Carr and Derek.
Some of these backup races are going to be more interesting than the starting races.
Man, but Derek Carr's been rock solid. Like, I think he just had that. Of course, he had the injury in his MVP season, but
he doesn't have the coach. He doesn't have a coach against him anymore, so that's nice. I'm sure that's nice. Yeah. To have the organization to not only fire that coach, but then also back it up with giving you an extension in the offseason to say this is your team. Like, I think that can go a long way for a man's confidence.
Oh, for sure, definitely, and I think. Honestly, and kind of more leaning into your point, though, not only am I excited for Derek Carr, but I'm kind of excited to see Josh McDaniels actually go through with the head coaching position, because he's been in the coaching circles every offseason, but now, and he could have taken jobs, but he didn't. But he did take this.
He had a really bad Broncos team too that they did not give him much time to turn around. So he's got a squad in Vegas. What is he gonna do with it?
That's what I'm saying. Like, he decided actually to take this one. So like, maybe he's like, oh, I can hit the ground running with this, and now he's got a quarterback, and you know what I mean. So I'm curious to see what it looks like, man.
Yeah, dude. Some more quarterbacks just did not stay with their team. Matt Ryan traded to Indianapolis, and Carson Wentz is now a Commander in Washington.
Yeah.
Which one are you more? I already know the answer to this, but which one are you more excited about?
Honestly, I'm more excited. I'm getting into the drama a little bit, but I'm more excited to see Carson Wentz in
got to play Washington. Philly twice.
Yeah, well, I think this is the ultimate like shit or get off the pot for Carson Wentz. It is that year. So that's why I'm more excited to see it, because if he does not do well, and Washington has a very recent history of just not being able to get out of their own way, and he is the ultimate get out of your own way quarterback. You know what I mean? So if Washington can't get it, that means he didn't do his job. That means he's fall flat on his face in this year, and it's relegated to backup roles, I think, from here on out. You know what I mean?
If at all.
Yeah.
People don't like having that former superstar in a backup role. Like, I feel like if you're a backup quarterback, you came into the league as a backup quarterback.
Yeah. And like, how much of a fall from grace would it be for Carson Wentz to be the highest of highs, getting injured in his MVP season? We just talked about it with Derek Carr, to losing the team, winning the Super Bowl, but losing the team, getting kicked out, going to Indianapolis, falling on your face,
not making the playoffs.
Yeah,
not making the playoffs with the team was guaranteed to make the playoffs.
Duval. Oh my God.
Oh man. Hey, Matty Ice, wearing the fresh whites in Indianapolis, man. I'm excited about that.
They are, yeah. I'm excited about that, man. He's
I wish they could have got him like 3 years ago.
Yeah. But I guarantee this is going to be the off season of Matty Ice. That man he's going to be snumped when he comes back in the league. Like, he knows this is his shot.
He's like 37 is the new 23. What's up?
Yeah, he better put in that work.
He will. Low key, kind of cool move. Tyrod Taylor, New York Giant.
Okay, they need that, Drew. I mean, the steadiness of Tyrod Taylor, like they need that. how quick of a hook is it though for Daniel Jones? You think?
Oh, quick. But keep the medical doctors, the team doctors, away from my man's lungs. All right,
Please,
we don't need no more
please
punctured lungs.
save Tyrod's lungs, please.
How scared is he from getting shots? He's like, hey, no
I would be traumatized. You know what I'm saying? I would be traumatized. Yeah. But good for him.
Our boy Marcus Mariota in the ATL now.
Yeah, I really hope
gets a shot
now that resurgent quarterback is not Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, that's fair. He's in the South. I was so glad Desean went to the non-NFC South teams.
I was too.
They were on his finals.
That wasn't y'all. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like for me, I know you didn't want that, man. I know you didn't. But
it would have been so conflicting. I couldn't.
Same thing when they was talking about him getting to Tampa. Like, I mean, like you want your team to be successful, but there's a cost.
There's a line. Yeah.
There's a cost, you know?
Yeah. Well, speaking of NFC South, Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton, quarterback 1 and 2 in New Orleans.
Listen,
good on them actually getting a backup in case Jameis gets hurt again. You know?
Yeah. Damn, it sucks that we actually had to put that man out for the season, Devin White, on that quarterback run or whatever.
I'm sure I could see the pain in your face.
Yeah. I mean, they still won the damn game. That's why I was salty about it twice. But nah, man, it's cool. It's cool to see both of them, and now they get to fight it out. I'm very curious. I'm very anxious to watch that game, the Falcons versus the Saints, 2 times a year. So that instantly makes it more interesting for us because we get to kind of see the drama play out, but it's also 2 teams that we actually have to watch anyway.
If they both can lose, if they can just tie both games, it'd be great.
Yeah, but that'd be putting people in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right. Ties. We got in on a tie one year. So hey. Well, I don't know how you feel, but I'm sure Seattle's feeling great about their new quarterback, Drew Lock.
Seattle done. They are done.
Which is another destination possibly for Baker Mayfield.
I read or heard somewhere that his people think Seattle, or maybe it's him. Maybe he said it that he thinks Seattle might be a good fit. If he thinks Seattle might be a good fit, they have to be talking about it, different things like that. So, we'll see. But Drew, quick question: is Seattle, if they don't get Baker Mayfield, obviously, but will Seattle get a top 5 pick or a top 10 pick? So 1 to 5 or 6 to 10?
Oh, they're gonna be bad. They're gonna be real bad. They're going with that division. Oof. Nah, they're gonna be a 2-3 win team.
That's what I'm saying. You think they get in the top 5 pick or a 6 top? Oh, okay.
Top 5.
All right, I was trying to give them a little hope.
Because you got to think of the basement dwellers. Jacksonville went out and got better. You know.
Yeah. And they'll have the running back this year.
Yeah, I think the Giants are better without their coach. You know.
Much better. Yeah. Much better.
Washington might be better with Wentz.
Talking about the Giants real quick, but like, is Dave Gettleman not allowed near any NFL football team anymore?
I hope all 32 teams have a restraining order against that man, that he can never be an advisor or
just that Daniel Jones
just
looks worse and worse
franchises.
And worse. 2 of them.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. We're still dealing with some of the contracts he gave people. Well, right before last quarterback carousel note we got, what are you buying into this Arizona Kyler Murray drama?
Yes, because I think Kyler's starting to show himself a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And like that, I don't think that any of this stuff is fabricated. And if it is, like, say it's the team kind of putting this stuff out there, I'd be pissed if I was Kyler. So money will make it right, but I'll forgive, but I won't forget. I think this is kind of that situation. So I don't think Kyler is going to be their franchise quarterback for the duration. Years. Put it that way. That's fair.
I can see some Russ Seattle stuff. You know, he signs another contract, and then after that, he's like, please get me out of here.
Yeah. And he's got a team scheme around him. So I don't understand. Like, do you just not like Arizona? Like,
Right?
I can understand.
Do you not like Kingsbury? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's got to be something. It's got to be something.
It's those uniforms. He hates the uniforms.
I would.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah. Trash.
Talk about a
They're
team
trash.
that needs an upgrade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Some other notable offseason moves.
There's a bunch.
The main one that I'm pumped about.
Yeah.
Our boy Duke Johnson, now Buffalo Bill.
He is, and
they got OJ. And they got OJ Howard.
They did get OJ Howard.
I know how you feel about
riddance.
Yeah.
Maybe he can
never panned out.
Make his career something that
you can't. You don't really. I don't see him passing Knox on the depth chart. You know.
I think he could. No, you're right. I don't see that happening, especially with Knox doing what he's been doing. But I can see OJ being a part of the offense at his height. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe get more looks, maybe more of a 50-50 a year too. But he's only on a 1-year deal, so he's got to do it now. You know what I mean? So, but no, Duke Johnson should get opportunities. Singletary kind of came on at the end of the year, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he did. But if he can come in and be that second guy, that Moss couldn't be apparently. Because I don't know why they lost complete faith in that dude. But
and then that's what I'm saying. Like the boys, they really are reloading because Von Miller just signed up there too, and for 120 million 6 years, Von Miller, Von Miller,
there. Yeah,
he gonna have to.
Yeah,
I mean, and I think 51 million in guarantees, Drew.
And can we not agree that Jamison Crowder's a upgrade from suspension and fine galore Beasley?
Yeah.
Because they do the same thing. They play the same position.
And Jamison Crowder is better at it.
Yeah.
Like he's better at it. So
and
that's
just hasn't been on a good team. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Which team, Drew, do you think did the most to put themselves in, like, to not necessarily the Super Bowl conversation, but in the Super Bowl game? Yeah, no, in the Super Bowl game. Which team? Ooh. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously I'm talking about a playoff team, but there's been playoff teams making moves. So, like, we gotta have to ask the question.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but I think it's Brady coming back to the Bucs. You know what I mean? Like, what other move can you say? Like you said before, that picked your team up from rebuilding to being a contender.
Yeah,
no other player on the football field
can
do that to a team. If Rodgers would have left Green Bay, that'd be the only other move I can think.
Right, and he would have went to a contender. So I agree. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. I do love Devontae Adams with the Raiders. I still don't know if that's enough to win the AFC.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like I hate to take the easy road out here, but I'm gonna say. And it's how much I like Matt Ryan, but the Colts, I think the Colts have done, Yedick and Gakwe. They got some re-signings, but getting Matt Ryan, and then also, as much as I hate to say it, this is where I thought you were going. If Desean Watson can still play, man, Cleveland Browns.
And he doesn't have a hefty suspension.
Yeah.
See what kind of games he's missing here, if they can bounce back from it. But then again, Brissett can win a game or two for him,
Yeah.
If Chubb and Hunt, can carry the load for that couple games.
Well, and if any tandem or two running backs can do it, it's those two.
Is he still butthurt, or is he chilling out?
I mean, see, this is the thing. Like, I think would he have suitors if he wanted to make some noise? I think he would. I think they would trade him because they do have Chubb. But they already know what they got in there to get. Like, just be quiet and rot it out, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. Because that team on paper could do some things, do what he wants, but he's got a shot with that team. And I don't know if he starts making too much noise, I would just be like, send this man to Seattle. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that.
Because another great Cleveland pickup is they got Amari Cooper.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so you got the quarterback, you got the wide receiver, and I don't know what Dallas was thinking. I mean, I know what they were thinking. They had to let him go because of the
like we said, they had all those receivers and they could not pay them all.
Yeah, yeah. But Amari, he was so hot and cold with them, but like his games where he was hot, man, it's like he can still do that. Like he can still, shimmy and shake and do everything that he used to do. So that was a good pickup by Cleveland. You know what I mean? Yeah. The choir boy of their pickups,
Right. Well, Miami did some stuff too, man. They went out and got Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert, and then of course traded for the blockbuster Tyreek Hill to be in Miami. So
some people might say that Miami did the most, which is prime Miami.
And me, they would be at the top of my list.
Yeah.
If they didn't have Tua as their quarterback.
Yeah.
Can he even throw it that far to get the ball to Tyreek Hill?
That's what I was thinking. Like if he has arm strength questions, but apparently like I've heard multiple Alabama receivers say that like Tua's slant is like it's the shit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like he's
gonna have a chance to prove it.
Right, especially with Tyreek Hill, but like I was really hoping that they would have to let Mike Gesicki go, but they franchise tag.
They're like, stamp that dude.
Hell yeah, because if he was if we was having tight end problems too, I'd have been like, all right, Gronk, we'll see you. We're not even waiting on you, bro.
We got a younger version of you, my dude.
That's what I'm saying. So like, I love them doing what they need to do with Gesicki because he's my guy. He's my guy. Rode him all season last season in fantasy to much success. So I think they're going to get big things from him. And bringing Xavier Howard back, Drew. Maybe
paying that man the money that he wanted in the first place.
90 milli.
Yeah, he wanted that money.
Yeah, and he got it. He got it. But they did have to let I forget who the other corner was that they had to let go because they paid him. Like they had two. Was it
no, they
Byron? Was it Byron?
He's still there though.
Oh, is it? Oh, damn. So he is. Oh, that's right. That's right. Offseason. That's right. Because he wanted more money or something like that. He wanted more money.
He ended up getting more money, and then Howard was like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, that's right. And that was
because it was a joke. What was the joke that he was like re-upped last year in order just so I could get Burton practice every day when Tyreek came to town.
Yeah.
So elevating his teammate, but
also
a little truth in that too.
No, it definitely is. I had forgotten about that, but I think that was also this off-season drama, was it not? Like that was
it was like toward the season. It was mid. I thought it was like mid-season. Like it started. Like Howard was close to holding out last year. I feel like
how quickly we forget
because they had to pay him money last year just to get him to come to camp. So that 30 million that was already on his contract was a raise already.
Yeah, because he I think when he got there, he was one of the highest paid corners. But then with the market moving and then bringing in the other corner, okay, yeah, I'm back up. But damn,
it's covered a couple seasons.
Yeah.
So they finally paid that man some money and told him chill out.
Yeah, they really did. What's okay? So we've been talking some teams, but what specifically players? Like what player have you been this offseason who's moved or re-signed or whatever that you think is one of your highlights, man?
I really want to see what some of these young receivers in different environments can do. Like we got Pascal in Philly now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he was buried behind some other guys in Indianapolis. We got Mr. Woods going to Tennessee, to help out AJ Brown, who also is having some contract issues and might not be there at the start of camp. Zay Jones and Christian Kirk going to Duval. Along with Mr. Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram's in Jacksonville now.
Yeah, they trying to retool.
They got some weapons around.
They trying to retool, man. And I have to. Of course, we got to shout out Zay, but Zay, what was you doing with that Ike Turner, Lawrence Fishburne reenactment hair during the press conference, my guy? You took me straight to anime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was.
I think that's what you're going for.
It seems like he was not really a role model I would be looking up to.
And then low key, Devontae Parker went to New England. So
yeah, I thought
he
that
could
was
be healthy.
One of their
that's going to be wow. You know, and look, they got Jabril Peppers too.
Yeah, Peppers, he's been having a resurgence though. You know what I'm saying? Like these
He had a
last
couple
couple of
good years
years.
with New York.
Yep. So like
And
shout to him.
he's gonna fit right in with that Belichick defense.
Yes, yeah. And talking about defense, one of my favorite ones, Drew, was actually one of the guys that y'all lost from the Panthers, Hassan Reddick, getting paid.
R.I.P. to Reddick and Gilmore. Gilmore going to Indianapolis too.
Yeah,
we lost a lot of our top guys.
Yeah, that was a good signing for them. But and like Hassan Reddick basically did it 2 years in a row. 10 plus sack production. He earned that payday.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna add a little bit more in Philadelphia because like fans are still screaming for offensive linemen and defensive linemen and linebackers. So I think they're gonna have
they got a lot of picks though. So I think Philly's gonna do some things in the draft. Let me ask you this: who do you think got the better end of the trade between the Colts and the Raiders swapping Ngakoue and Rock Ya-Sin?
Oh man, I think that. Well, honestly, I'd probably say the Raiders because Ngakoue, for as good as he is and can be, like he's had some spurts where it's just like, man, I'm gonna need more from you. You know what I mean? And the same thing with Rock Ya-Sin, but like the Raiders didn't really have good secondary play. You know what I mean? So like I can see why they made that trade, and Mad Max kind of basically was the second fiddle to Ngakoue, first at the first part of the season, and then he just continued to do what he was doing.
But then they let go of Nesbitt, so I was very intrigued by that.
Well, the coach is gonna come in, they're gonna make some moves, but maybe that it kind of tells you where they're going with their board, though. You know what I mean?
Very true.
So,
because they probably had to pay both of them, and they picked their guy and Max. And now they're going to go out and get another guy.
So. Yeah, and talking about a salary cap, but decisions have to be made. So
no doubt, especially if you got two studs at the same position.
I do love and I know we talked about the NFC West a lot, but like the trade for Khalil Mack, talking about trades, man, like for the Chargers to pull that off, and the Bears.
I'm excited to see what the Chargers do next year, man.
I'm glad the Bears let him go so he can eat, but I think that man, not only is he going to eat, but he's going to eat well.
He's going to eat season. Top quarterbacks.
Yes. How much, to be basically wasting away on that Bears line, and now you get to be in all this relevance.
The best division football.
I could see Khalil Mack having a 2015 Von Miller season, and I know.
No doubt. I could see Khalil Mack having a 2018 Khalil Mack season.
Yeah, true. Touche.
Couple of wide receivers. Sammy Watkins now in Green Bay. Valdez Scantling in Kansas City. Hayden Hurst going to go chill with Burrow in Cincinnati, along with offensive lineman Collins. So they are trying to improve that offensive line at least.
Yeah.
Tight end Uzma going to New York. Uzama. Yeah, I always mess up his name. Uzama going to New York, going to be a Jet.
He was like Uza, a little
Uzama.
Yeah, him and Jordan Whitehead also going up there to New York. I hate to see Jordan Whitehead go. Man, we got and talking about Jordan Whitehead, we losing a safety. We got Logan Ryan. They don't know if he's going to play safety. We got 4 safeties on the roster.
Keanu Neal.
And Keanu Neal. And they're still talking about that we might draft a safety at 27, man. I don't know what's going on with this draft, man. I don't know. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
We talked about the Panthers signing Deontay Foreman. They also signed Xavier Woods for safety help. I'm excited about that signing.
Yeah.
And then also low-key brought in Rashard Higgins at wide receiver. I'm excited. He had some good years in Cleveland.
Yeah, he did. And it's like every time he shows you exactly what Rashard Higgins can do at his height, he drops one. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just like he's just so inconsistent, but like his highs are very high. I've always liked Rashard Higgins because of what he puts out there on tape and not the bad stuff. You know what I mean? Like
you mean the bad stuff like Cincinnati re-signing Eli Apple?
I mean, yeah, for as bad of a game as he had in the Super Bowl, but like he did have.
Is Hargrave still a Bengal? Is he done?
Like, I hope not, man.
My man cost him the Super Bowl and didn't even play.
Didn't even play. Can y'all see why this man should be out of the league right now? And I'm not for people losing their jobs, but you need to lose your job.
Yeah. A couple of veterans, Patrick Peterson re-upping with Minnesota. They brought in one of the Smith brothers. They brought in linebacker Darius Smith.
Yeah.
And now Bobby Wagner taking Von Miller's spot in LA.
Bobby Wagner is washed. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it on this show. I've been beating that drum for years, but yet PFF's keep pounding the table for this man. And
well, we know how hard it is to run it back anyway. To repeat as champion.
It definitely is hard. It definitely is hard.
That was definitely not an equal swap. Von Miller for Bobby Wagner.
No, it was not. It was not. Von Miller is on the bigger and better things. Up there in Buffalo's gonna have another shot.
Imagine if he jumps from championship team to championship team.
It probably happens for at least one player every year. You know what I'm saying? So
like, man, I picked the right team.
Why not him? I do love that Xavier Woods signing, man. But I will say, like, I think y'all did get a better signing. That Deontay Foreman signing,
I could not stop smiling that day.
Yeah,
when I saw that coming across my screen.
It was like I was reading it coming across my screen, obviously from left to right. That's how we read here on Earth, or not in past tune, I don't think, but either way, I digress. But I was reading it and I was like, Deontay Foreman goes to the Panthers. Like it was all in one sentence. You know what I'm saying? Great signing for y'all though. Great signing.
Yeah. And we brought in Austin Corbett too. So get some kind of guard help.
Yeah.
Bradley Bozeman at a center. We'll see. We'll see how
Yeah. I have to, and I got to shout this out. You mentioned it, Drew. Keanu Neal, man, not playing linebacker, coming to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think you have a former safety as your head coach now in Todd Bowles. Like, if anybody's going to be able to get anything out that man and get him back to before he had the consecutive injuries, it's going to be Todd Bowles. So low-key good signing there.
What do you think is going to be a more impact signing for you guys? Shaq Mason or Russell Gage?
Gotta be. Ooh, good question. I think it's gotta be Shaq Mason though, because we were able to skate by with patchwork receivers toward the end of the year. I mean, everybody was injured, so I gotta say it's gotta be Shaq Mason to protect Tom Brady losing the pieces off the offensive line. I mean, if you got a mid-tier to good quarterback, but your offensive line is tight, I'll see you in the playoffs, man. Like I've learned that these last couple of years for sure. Joe Burrow's learned that. You know what I mean?
My man running for his life and still took his team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they did just enough to get him there. You know what I mean? Yeah. With the offensive line. You think they'll go back there again? Like with this
not with this AFC, man. Not with this AFC. You think will the Bengals get a line
with the right with the pick? You think
they have to,
like they're trying?
I mean, but are they in the spot where they can do best available? You know, like, or do you have to go for that line?
I think it's a good question.
They do have a couple of holes in the defense too. They might need to go grab a guy.
Stay tuned for the mock draft next week. We'll be doing some more work trying to figure that out for y'all. But I think like
perfect segue. Let's talk about draft preview for next week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because Suds, you do your inaugural or your annual. I don't know. I always get those two mixed up.
I think it's the same. No. Inaugural was the first time. So annual. Okay. Yes.
Your annual first round mock draft. Any previews you want to share with us other than it's going to be madness and craziness and trades galore?
Man, if you trying to have me throw trades in, bro, I think we.
Oh no. We know the rules. We know the rules.
I was like,
no, I'm just saying. But do you foresee a lot happening? I'm not saying for your mock draft.
Absolutely. Yeah. I see a lot happening because like teams have shown, especially in this offseason, that picks don't mean much. You know what I'm saying? Like they want players or they want picks. Yeah, so they want to win now. Exactly. Now I got a couple of players that I like. I'm curious to see where they go because there seems to be not that many actual first rounders and a lot of second to third round picks
that'll go early.
You know what I mean? So like
I think a lot of teams are going to reach for a quarterback. Maybe the Panthers being one of them.
Absolutely. I would love for this year, since the quarterbacks aren't really that good, to have a regression to the mean. And what I mean by that is like picking quarterbacks where they're supposed to be picked. Like if he's the second round first best player, then pick him first in the second round. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't reach.
We had a nice resurrection of that with the running backs. Like I wish we could do that with the quarterbacks.
Yeah,
we all know how important it is to have a quarterback. So,
and they will. But no, I got a couple of players that I like. One of my favorites, I'll be honest, Jalen Petrie, the safety out of Baylor. My man just makes plays. Like he obviously, you know, they're talking about some safeties ahead of him. Really like what I saw on tape for him. Another one of my favorite players, Arnold Ebba from Penn State, the defensive end.
Another player you're gonna have to tell me how to pronounce his name. Fantastic.
Yeah. He looks like a monster. And of course, like you know, the Bucs are looking at possibly adding a receiver. So I've been doing a lot of receiver work. Couple of receivers, like people are really high on Christian Watson. I really haven't watched enough tape like it's to be able to tell you. I know I've seen some good things, but people really seem to think he's either a second rounder or he's definitely going like high first round, like won't be one of the first receivers taken. So watch out for Treylin Burks though. Apparently, like he is arguably the best pro-ready receiver. Like he's one of the biggest guys, but people think he's going to take a tumble toward the end of the first round. And I've seen a lot of mocks where he is possibly going to the Bucs and basically in that range, in that 25 to 30 range, somewhere around there. And you know, Green Bay needs a receiver. And there's a lot of, I mean, it's going to be so much. I don't think it might not be a lot of movement, but there's a lot of teams right that are sandwiched in the draft that have similar needs is what I'm trying to say. So like the Saints need a receiver, the Bucs arguably need a receiver, and we know Green Bay does, and they're all right around there at the same, you know what I'm saying? So like it could be, that's where I think you can see a lot of movement.
That receiver draft. So it's going to be awesome, man.
They're deep. You know who I'm not as high on though? Cornerback. Even though there's a lot of them, I'm not really high on them. And linebackers in this draft, Drew.
I do like Mr. Sauce Gardner.
Yeah,
I am a Sauce Gardner believer.
I think he'll be good. He's a little, I mean, he's tall. He's a little slight for me though. I need a little more girth on my.
Hey, he can get in the weight room. It's fine.
Yeah,
we'll get some muscle on him. You know,
that's what they hoping for. That's what they're hoping for.
Yeah. We got James Harrison as our strength and conditioning coach now. It'll be fun.
Oh damn.
No, we don't. I wish. I just am still amazed by that man's workouts on Instagram. Like, my man is still just disrupting things.
Yeah.
For the sake of doing it now.
I hope for all the young men on this earth, that he has all sons. You know?
Can you imagine showing up to a date and you don't know who this girl's dad is?
Right.
You know,
right.
And you just knock on the door.
Harrison obviously is a very common last name.
I'm like, cool. She's got the same name as me. James Harrison opens the door. What do you want? Not a thing, sir. You have a great evening.
You have a great evening. Yep. I was selling stuff, but I'm not selling.
I just ran out next door. I don't even know why I knocked on your door. I apologize. My bad.
Yeah, I'll be out, bro.
Well, who are some players that might get their name called later on in the draft that you think could be NFL players? Anybody that's come to your mind on that?
Apparently, like, and I'm not the first one or the last one to be talking about this kid, but watch out for a punter. This punter to get drafted very early, not in the seventh round, like not in the second round, not in the second round,
fifth,
but like fourth, fifth. So you know, there's I can't even remember his name. But I like Breece Hall, the running back. I'm curious to see Kenneth Walker, the running back. He hasn't had a lot of opportunity to catch passes, but he was arguably the best running back in college football last year. So how many teams covet a pure runner who doesn't have a lot of catches on tape at this point? So I'm curious to see where he goes. I don't think it'll be in round one, put it that way. You know what I mean?
Could we have another running back list round one?
I think so. I definitely think so. There's nobody that's really like, coming out
the Najee Harris
for the top. Yeah, there's nobody in, and he was the latter half. You know what I mean? Latter half of the first round. So I think you might see it pushed out. Let's see. The offensive line is pretty deep in this draft.
I hope that's all we do.
yeah. Y'all should definitely have
maybe a linebacker here.
Their opportunity. I will say, like, I've seen Charles Cross mocked a lot to the Panthers. Like,
I would be happy with that.
Almost penciling in.
Happy with that.
I will say he is my least.
Kenny Pickett a lot.
He's. I will say, like, he's consistent, but he's my least favorite out of all the top offensive linemen.
That's great to hear.
Yeah,
awesome.
I will
more say years of mediocrity for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, so like and I think y'all might have an opportunity at one of the top ones, especially if somebody wants to come up for a quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
And also I think some pass rushers are going to go early too. So
let
those fall into place, and we'll go ahead and take that prize.
Yeah, it's because like they say Trayvon Walker is like shooting up draft boards. You know what I'm saying? Like it might get taken number 1 overall, and I don't know. Like
that's the great thing.
It seems like it's a lot of projection.
You know
what I'm saying?
This is the first because last year we knew without a shadow of a doubt who the first overall pick was going to be.
Yeah.
So I think I'm so hyped this year because we're not just talking about the quarterbacks. I mean, we're still talking about the quarterbacks because they're quarterbacks.
Yeah.
We're talking about that defensive lineman from Michigan and that edge rusher from Oregon. And all the crazy linemen, and that was it the guard from Alabama that wants to be the first Alabama player taken number 1 overall.
Oh yeah. I don't know that.
Neal, is that his name?
Yeah, Evan Neal, and he's one of the top ones. We were just talking about fallers, and you mentioned Aidan Hutchinson, the defensive lineman, probably should be number 1, but like there's a lot of projection with Trevin Walker.
Doesn't that just match up perfectly though with the Michigan guy going to the Lions at number 1? Come on.
I mean, it does. It writes itself. But I'm curious though to see where his counterpart David Ojabo, the lineman who is freakishly athletic and hasn't played football for that long, got injured during this pro day. That was David Ojabo. Right.
That tape was tough because no one helped him. No one helped my man out.
Come on, NFL. Y'all got to do better. Man.
Knew that was going to get out there. Like,
I'm curious to see where he falls and like, and kind of how far is his fall going to be? I don't think it'll be far. I mean, maybe in the second round, but like he was definitely probably a top 15 pick.
That's probably my favorite thing is seeing the players that fall. Like that second round is my favorite. When you see the players that were really good, but somehow fell from the first round, like where they start falling, and because it can be great and it can be god awful too. Because I remember watching the draft when James Clausen was drafted in the second round to the Carolina Panthers because he fell so far, and we drafted him just because we were like, we can't believe this guy fell to us, and it was a disaster. So it's fun to see those top names that fall, and you pray some of them come to your team, and you pray some of them just keep on falling.
I really could not have put it better myself because the second round, obviously, is honestly my favorite as well because exactly like Drew said, you get arguably first round talent, probably a couple of actual first round talents in there that just fell due to position or whatever it can be. But it's just something about getting them with the second round pick because now you already got your stud theoretically in your first round pick, and now you can follow it up with another stud in the second round. Like,
okay,
usually if you go back to back like that, I love it. So I guess kind of getting back to what you were saying, Drew, I like another running back, Pierre Strong. If y'all haven't seen Pierre Strong, he South Dakota State, boy is shifty. Boy is
That's what you
very
want from
shifty.
My man,
yeah.
shifty.
Yeah. A lot of people like Martin Emerson, cornerback out of Mississippi State. And I mean, there's definitely some names here. Those are just a few of the like mid-tier names, but I'll be honest, like there's in that middle level of draft prospects this year, I keep hearing the same middle tier names and not like, oh, you got to see this guy from Buffalo, or you got to see this guy from Sam Houston, or you know what I'm saying? So it's like I think those middle tier guys, the names that I keep hearing are actually going to be probably wind up being third rounders and not fourth and fifth rounders. You know what I mean? So it just kind of is one of those things. But we'll have the first round for you next week, though. You know what I mean?
I'm excited, man. Shawn, where can they find you online?
At the Kid Suds on Twitter, at nickel_dom FB on Twitter, and of course at the illustrious nickel_dom football on your Insta. Drew, what about you?
Check me out, DrewHarrisonComedy.com. At Laugh with Harrison on Instagram, and be on the lookout. My comedy special debut will be dropping later this year, so keep an eye out for that.
Let's go.
We'll be back next week for our draft preview, and then after that, we'll see you in the summer to start going over those teams and those divisions, and then we'll be ready to go for the season. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, share us with everybody. We'll see you next week.